Hello, my dear students. Today we are planning to study The Last Ride Together, a beautiful poem by the renowned Victorian poet Robert Browning. I'll read the text and then I'll explain the poem to you. So the text goes like this. I said, then, dearest, since 'tis so, since now at length my fate I know, since nothing all my love avails, since all my life seemed meant for fails, since this was written and needs must be, my whole heart rises up to bless your name in pride and thankfulness. Take back the hope you gave, I claim, only a memory of the same. And this beside, if you will not blame, your leave for one last ride with me. So, my dear students, as I have already told you, this is a poem by Robert Browning. And here, Robert Browning is the speaker. It is a dramatic monologue in which there is a speaker and the other person is the listener. Throughout the poem, you will find that only one speaker will speak and the other person will be silent listener. That's why it is called a dramatic monologue. And here the poet is addressing his lady love. He says, it's okay if you have decided to refuse my love, or if you uh, are not accepting my love. And he says he has also resigned to his fate. And he says that if things are destined to happen in this way, since it is so, and now at length my fate I know my fate, this is my destiny, that my love has had no effect on you. You have not accepted my love. This is my fate, and I have accepted my destiny. Since nothing all my love avails, since all my life seemed meant for fails. And he says that I have failed in I have failed the very purpose of my life. And this is and he says that this is my inescapable fate. Still, he says that I bless you wholeheartedly. Still, there is no feeling of revenge, and there is no hatred, and or there are no he is not harboring any ill feelings towards his lady love, although she has refused to accept his love. He says that he has accepted his fate, and he says that he blesses her wholeheartedly. Okay. And he says that he is proud and grateful to her, uh, and he feels proud and grateful that he has loved her. Okay. And he is proud of his love for her. And he Since all my life seemed meant for fails, since this was written and needs must be, my whole heart rises up to bless your name in pride and thankfulness. Take back the hope you gave, I claim. He says that I'm returning all the hopes that you gave me. Okay. He was, of course, filled with lots of hope, that life would be very good with her, with his lady love. She will accept his love. But now, exactly the opposite of what he expected has happened. His lady love has refused his love. And he says that he is taking back all his hopes. Okay, whatever he hopes he nurtured, okay, out of love for her. And he says that I claim only a memory of the same. He's taking back all the hopes, but he wants that he wants that his lady love should allow him to, uh, to keep a memory of those hopes, of those memorable moments which he passed with her. Okay, although his lady love will be no more with him, because it is, as the title suggests, the last ride. It's going to be a last ride. So he says that at least there will be a memory of those beautiful moments spent with her. And if she allows him, he says, and this beside, if you will not blame. Okay, he's a bit diffident also, that if you don't mind, if you will not blame your leave for one last ride with me. I want your permission. Please allow me to go for one last ride with me on horseback. Okay? He wants to go horse riding with her one last time, so that the memory of these beautiful moments spent with his lady love remain with him forever. Then he says, my mistress bent that brow of hers, and his lady love, the lovely lady, she, tilted her head on one side. Okay, and that brow of, with you can say that brow of hers, those deep dark eyes were pride demurs. When pity would be softening through, fixed me a breathing while or two, with life or death in the balance. He says that he is observing his mistress, his lady love. She bends her lovely head, and and she is thinking. Okay, and you know, uh, and from her dark, deep, dark eyes, beautiful dark eyes, where pride demurs, which reflect pride. It is evident from the very eyes of his lady love that she is full of pride. Okay. And because of pride, she has turned down his love, his offer of love. Yes. Uh, Although those eyes could have softened with pity for his love, and she fixed me a breathing while or two. She looks at him, you know, directly for a few moments, with life or death, with life or death in the balance. And it froze his blood. when she looked at him while she was staring at him. Okay. Uh, and it was like, his life was at stake. Okay. And it was a moment of life and death for him, for the poet. He was like, uh, my last thought was at least not in vain. The blood replenished me again, right? The blood replenished me again. My last thought was at least not vain. He said that he was thinking whether she would agree or refuse his offer. And at least he was, he was expecting that, at least he was hoping against hope, that at least his one last wish would be fulfilled in this life, which was full of failures. At least one last wish would be fulfilled. And this thought, set his blood circulating faster in his veins. Okay. And I and my mistress side by side, and he imagines what a beautiful moment it would be. He with his mistress, you know, both of them riding on horseback together, shall be together, breathe and ride. Their breath will be so close to each other. And so one day more am I deified. So, he says that one more day I will feel so elevated, elated, like a god. I would feel like a god. It would be such a great moment of my life when I would ride with my lady love. Who knows, but the world may end tonight. And maybe this evening, or this ride would be the last experience of mine on earth. Maybe my life could end after this, but I will be satisfied that I enjoyed that last ride with my lady love before death. Understood? These are the sentiments of the poet. Hush, listen quietly. If you saw some western cloud, he is now, he says, imagine a cloud in the west, in the western sky, all billowy, bosomed, curvy, you know, uh, curvy like the breasts of a woman, overbowed, overbowed by many benedictions, suns, and evening stars at once. All shines, the sun, the moon, and the evening star is Venus, all shining at once in the sky. Imagery. This is imagery. Imagine the beauty of the western sky with uh, the sun, the moon, all at in one moment, by many benedictions, suns and moons and evening stars at once. And so you looking and loving best. And so you looking and loving best. And imagine that you are watching this cloud, okay? and admiring it. Okay. And and you realize that your love is pulling it down towards you. This cloud, you're watching the sky, the cloud, and you imagine that out that your love is pulling it towards you, pulling that cloud towards you. Conscious grew, your passion drew. Mark the rhyming. Drew, the internal rhyming here. Conscious grew, your passion drew. Yes. And then, uh, drawn, and you imagine, imagine that cloud, until you feel that your body, that you are living in heaven, another world. Okay. You are dying of ecstasy, you are dying of bliss. So he says that, thus lent she and lingered joy and fear. In this manner, she leaned towards me. I'm just imagining that she would lean towards me, and lingered, and then she would linger, rest her body on my body, stay there in the same state for some time, with joy and fear. Means my heart will be filled with joy and fear in that moment. Thus lay she a moment on my breast. And that's just how she embraced me for a moment. Okay. And my, it is while riding, this was what he experienced. This was the joy he experienced. His lady love leaning on him while riding together, and staying in that position for some time, filling his heart with joy and fear also. Why joy? Joy at the thought that she was with him in that moment, and fear that this ride would soon end. Thus, then we began to ride. Okay. And in this manner we set out on our for our ride. My soul smoothed itself out a long crammed scroll. This is the, you can say, here is a metaphor. Okay. The soul is being compared to a scroll, you can say, a scroll of paper. My soul smoothed itself out a long cramped scroll, freshening and fluttering in the wind. Have you seen a scroll of paper opening up and fluttering in the strong wind? Have you ever observed it? देखा है कभी एक कागज जो ऐसे रोल किया हुआ रहता है उसको खोल दो तो वो हवा में कैसे फड़फड़ाता है? Okay. His soul is also excited. Okay. So my soul smoothed itself out a long cramped scroll, freshening and fluttering in the wind. Past hopes already lay behind, and his earlier hopes, they were already lost, isn't it? They were a matter of past now. What need to strive with a life? All right, he says. Then what is the need? What is the point in struggling against a life which is so unfortunate? okay, which is filled with misfortunes, which is filled with bad luck. He's not feeling good because his lady love is going to leave him soon after this. Had I said that, had I done this, so might I gain, so might I miss. We keep calculating in life. Okay, if I had done this, I would have gained that. If I had, uh, I would have gained this. I might have missed something else. In this way, we keep thinking and calculating in life. Might she have loved me just as well? Now my thoughts, they are again, you know, you become active. I start thinking again. Had she loved me, would she have continued to love me in future also, just as she had she loved me now? Would she have continued to love me in future also in the same manner? She might have hated. Maybe she would have started hating me in some moment, sometime in the future. Who can tell? Nobody knows what's lying in store for you in future. Where had I been now if the worst befell? What would have happened to me? How much would have I suffered had all this misfortune befallen me in future? And here we are riding, she and I. So it is useless to think of all the, you can say, bad things, to imagine all the bad things that can happen to you, that could have happened to you in future, and to think of your misfortune. The best thing is to forget everything and enjoy this last ride with my beloved, in which in this moment there are only two of us, me and her. Okay, so next, fail I alone in words and deed? He says, am I the only one, only human being who has failed in in words or deeds? Means in who had made a promise, who said something and failed to do so, or indeed in some action, who planned something and failed to do so. Okay, so in words or actions, I'm not the only human being. There are so many others who have failed, who have been failing, okay, in this world. Why all men strive? Why all men strive, and who succeeds? Why? He says, why? This is this is not the way to think. Why? Here is, a sort of, address, with he is addressing the reader also here, that why, what is the point? There is no need to think like this in a negative manner. All men strive. Everyone on this living, who is living on this earth, struggles, strives, okay, aims at something. But how many succeed? Not everyone succeeds. Okay, there some fail the test, some pass the test. Okay, we rode, it seemed my spirit flew. And he says that we kept continued to ride together, and my spirit also, spirit means my soul, my soul also flew along with the racing horse. Saw other regions cities new. We saw other many more places and new city. As the world rushed by on either side, we were riding. Mark the imagery, okay, the scenery. Sometimes we have come across such scenery, on the walls. Okay, on the walls, you see, they are, uh, a person riding a horse, the dust blowing alongside, the horse, and and sometimes the horse and the rider is covered in dust. The scene seems very romantic, okay, full of bravery. In the same manner, these two are riding, and the whole world, it is, they are passing through so many scenes, sights, while riding, okay, and they are crossing the sceneries in this world very fast. I thought all labor, yet no less, bear up beneath their unsuccess. Everyone works hard for something or the other to achieve some goal or the other, and and everyone faces failure at times in life. Look at the end of work, contrast, and he says that um, we should always focus on the end, on the result. Okay? Contrast the petty done, the undone vast. So he says that um, you see the petty done, petty, the trifles, or you can say trivial things we achieve in life. Trivial, or you can say very small. Think of our small achievements. Okay, the undone vast as compared to the to uh, majority of things that we are not able to achieve in life. Okay, we hope, we strive, we struggle to achieve lot of things, a lot more in life, great things in life, but in reality we achieve very little. This present of theirs with the hopeful past. So, so the past is full of hopes, full of struggles, isn't it? Because we dreamed big, we dreamed to achieve big. So this, yes, this present of theirs and the present, but the present reality, this present is real, although it is a small achievement, although it is, this moment is a small moment, although this moment is a small moment, okay, not a very um, this, it will not last for a long time, still it is of great value. This present reality, it matters a lot compared to all that I had dreamed in the past. I hoped she would love me. Here we ride. And while riding, as is the case with all human beings, we hope against hope that something would change the circumstances. Something would happen which would, uh, divert the my fate, you know, uh, you can say towards the object of my desire. Something would happen that would fill the heart of my lady with pity, with sympathy, with love for me, and she would accept his love. Something would happen which would make her, you know, love me back, okay, which would make her accept. Some miracle would happen which would made her accept my love. But he is just hoping against hope, and he is riding with her. the central idea is this: whatever is going on in the heart of this character, speaker, who, uh, you know, it is the destiny of all human beings. We hope against hope to achieve the impossible. Okay. And of course, we dream big. We want we have lots of desires in this world. We want to achieve a lot. But we are mostly, we encounter failures. We are not able to achieve a lot. Whatever we achieve is very little compared to our big dreams, vast ocean of desires. Okay. But what should matter is the reality. Whatever we have achieved, that should matter to us. uh, it is a saying, common saying, a bird in hand is better than two in the bush. A bird in hand is better than two in the bush. He further says, what hand and brain went ever paired, what actions went side by side with what the brain had desired to achieve, whatever the brain had imagined. First of all, how is the process of uh, achieving the target? How it begins? We plan something in our mind, isn't it? We think of achieving something, okay, and then we start the action, okay. So the action, or whatever we imagine, whatever we imagine to achieve, whatever target we want to achieve, it should match with the intensity of our actions, isn't it? Our action should also be equally effective, forceful, isn't it? But what hand and brain went ever paired, what heart alike conceived and dared. So he says that many people, they make plans inside their mind, okay. They think of achieving things, but they are not so extrovert. They don't dare express it, okay. and and you see, and they don't even dare to make, you can say, to move ahead to achieve their plan. What act proved all its thought had been? So he says that what action lived up to hope, whatever we hope to achieve, which actions, not every time the action is sufficient to fulfill our hope. What will but felt the fleshly screen? What will but felt the fleshly screen? Now, will is willpower, okay, and fleshly screen means this worldly life, okay. There have been many occasions, it has happened with many human beings, that their willpower had been defeated in this world, in this world which is full of imperfection. We ride and I see her bosom heel. Anyway, however, just watch how beautiful she appears. How romantic is this scene? Me riding with her, and she's and her bosom is heaving with the movement of the horse. So, means her breast rise and fall with the movement of the horse. It is such a beautiful moment. So there's many a crown for who can reach. Crown is achievement, reward, victory. 10 lines, a statement's life in age. So he says that, of course, there is there are plenty of triumphs, victories, um, in you can say, uh, waiting for men, for people who can make efforts, who can reach them. Okay, people who can make efforts. There are many victories, triumphs, success is waiting for them. 10 lines, a statement's life in each. It says that the glory of statesmen, great leaders, is written in 10 lines in history books, in an old history book. The flag stuck with a heap of bones. And a heap of bones when a soldier dies. Okay? A soldier's doing. The flag stuck on a heap of bones, a soldier's doing. When a soldier dies, uh, so in as a recognition of his heroic deeds, a flag is stuck into the pile of bones, into the remains of the heroic soldiers, dead, you can say, uh, into the remains of the heroic soldier. What atones? So what happens? What I mean, so much effort, and what is the achievement? Okay, what atones? What is the achievement? What actually is achieved by a person in life? This is something to be pondered upon. Okay, they scratch his name on the abbey stones. They write his name is engraved on the walls of Westminster Abbey. He says this is only this much they achieve. Either their names will be written in 10 lines, 10 short lines in a history book, or a flag will be stuck on the mortal remains of the heroic soldier. Their names will be engraved on their names will be engraved on the tombstone of heroic soldiers for their deeds, for their heroic deeds. Nothing beyond that. I am in a much, much better position here. Better than My achievement is greater than all these achievements. What is it? My riding is better by their leave. Okay? By their achievements. If you compare my achievement with their achievement, this last ride together with my beloved is much, much better, a greater reward for me than their achievements. What does it all mean, poet? He's addressing the poet now. Oh, poet, what what does it all mean? What is the, I mean, what do you understand by all this discussion? Well, your brains beat into rhythm. You tell what we felt only. Now, in very rhythmic manner, what you do, you express the feelings of people, what is felt by people, by human beings. You expressed, you hold things beautiful, the best. And you said that beautiful things are the best things in the world. Okay, he is addressing the poet. He says that what is a poet's job? A poet, at the maximum thing he does is he expresses the thoughts, the feelings of human beings, and according to the poet, all beautiful things in the world are the best things, and paste them in rhymes so side by side. And these thoughts uh, you express the in the lines of a poem in rhymes. Tis something, nay, tis much. Tis something. Of course, it is something. I accept that it is something great that you are doing. But there is much more to it, much more beauty beyond this. There is much more than what you think you have achieved. More than writing these beautiful lines of poetry, there is much more to be achieved or that can be achieved. But then he says that, but then have you yourself what's best for men? He says that you think a poet feels that he is leading the best possible life. Okay? Have you yourself what's best for men? Have you ever thought what is actually best for human beings? Are you poor, sick, old, and your time? Nearer one with your own sublime than we who have never turned a rhyme? Sing, riding's a joy. For me, I ride. If you compare yourself with people like us, if poets compare themselves with other human beings, if you compare yourself with other human beings, if poets compare themselves with other human beings, poets are, you know, under the impression that they are leading the best, the you can say best possible life because they are thinking about beautiful things in life. They are celebrating beauty in their verses, in the rhymes of poetry, but as far as we are concerned, who never wrote a line of poetry in our life. You see, are you, he says, poor, sick, old, ere your time? Are you poor means impoverished? Have you experienced poverty? Ill, sickness? Have you grown old before your time comes, before old age comes? Okay. So, so he says that than we who have never turned a rhyme, nearer one with your own sublime. Are you in any way close? You say closer to beauties you celebrate than those of us who never wrote a single poem. Okay. So he says that you keep on writing poems, keep on celebrating beauty in your poems. But this moment that I'm experiencing is so delightful. It is giving me so much delight. Sing, writing's a joy for me. I write. And I would prefer to ride than sit and write poetry. Okay? Because this is the most, for you, writing poems, writing about beauty in poems is something very enjoyable. But for me, riding with my lady love is the most enjoyable thing. Okay? And he says, what? Yes. And you, great sculptor, yes. What is a sculptor? संग तराश जो होता है, जो मूर्ति बनाता है, ठीक है, sculptor. And you, great sculptor, he has addressed the poet in the previous stanza. Now he is addressing the sculptor. And you, great sculptor, so you gave a score of years to art. You have dedicated almost, you have sacrificed 20 years of your life in the service of art. Goddess of art, the goddess of art, her slave. You have, made yourself a servant, a slave of the goddess of art. And that's your Venus. And you have, sculpted, created a beautiful statue of Venus, the goddess of love. So whence we turn to yonder girl that fought the burn. Yes. Which we all turn away. The result is a lovely statue of Venus, which we all turn away from as soon as an ordinary pretty girl crosses a stream catches our eye. He says that your the statue of Venus is indeed very beautiful, but and now if but the moment an ordinary pretty girl crosses a stream, she becomes the object of our attention. Everybody starts looking at that ordinary beautiful girl. You, you acquiesce, and shall I repine? Yes. You acquiesce, and shall I repine? And you willingly make your sacrifice, you surrender, you submit to your profession in the service of the goddess of art. And shall I repine? And do I regret? Would I wish that you would do something else. What, man of music, you grown grey, and now he addresses the musician, a man of music who has grown grey, who has grown old before his time, with notes and nothing else to say, always fiddling with notes, with songs and nothing else to say. Okay? Is this your soul praise from a friend? And all you achieve, what is your achievement? What is the achievement of a man of music? His friends praise him with these words: greatly his opera strains intend. But in music, we know how fashions end. His friends praise him a lot, and he says that he is, and his friends say that he is an ambitious composer. But we all know how tastes change, how fashion changes in the field of music also. I gave my youth, but we ride in fine after. And so a musician may think that I passed all my youth and the fashion has changed, and I dedicated so many valuable years of my life to a thankless cause. Okay, at the end of the day, a man of music might also regret, okay, having pursued something which was not permanent, okay, an art which was not permanent. And he says that I am luckier than all of you. I'm luckier than the poet, than the musician, than the sculptor, who might have regrets later on in life because taste changes, fashion changes, and does uh, so does the trend in art changes, art and music. Okay, so he says that there might be regrets at the end in the case of other artists, other people, but here in my case, I'm sure I will not have any regrets. Why? Because I will always cherish the memories of this last ride with my beloved. And then he says, who knows what's fit for us? Who knows what is good for us? Had fate proposed bliss, here should sublimate my being. You know, had fortune allowed me to get what I wanted, okay, allowed me to achieve my goal, to win my uh, win the love of my beloved, of this beautiful lady with whom I am riding. Maybe, maybe my being, had I signed the bond, still one must lead some life beyond. Even if, I had been able to marry her, if I had signed the bond of marriage with her, if I had succeeded in doing so, still one must lead some life beyond. Still, this life is not permanent. One has to aspire for a life beyond this life. Okay, a life after death. And there should be something good, great, worth enjoying after death, in life after death. What is the point in getting everything we want in this life and then we will die without any yearning, without any wishes or desire? There will be nobody would aspire to you know strive for a better life after death. Still, one must lead some life beyond. Have a bliss to die with some descried.
It's 2 o'clock.
Okay. So, we should have something left to aspire for, okay, in the life after death. This foot once planted on the goal, this glory garland round my soul. If I had planted, if I had reached my destiny, had I reached my destination, had I achieved my goal in this life, this glory garland on my soul, had I been glorified in this life, had I, had my wish or desire to win the love of this beautiful lady been fulfilled, could I describe such? Could I describe such? Then I would have been left with no more dreams or hopes to achieve in the life to come after death. Try and test. I sink back shuddering from the quest. One should keep trying. Okay? One should keep trying and testing oneself in this life. Means one should keep on struggling, and one should always strive to achieve one's goal, and one should always you can say be steadfast in the trials of this life. Earth, I sink back shuddering from the quest. And he says that I shudder, I still tremble at the thought, at the you can say at the quest. Earth being so good, earth is that this very thought, it makes me tremble with fear. Earth being so good, would heaven seem best? I have enjoyed so much. I have experienced so much joy on earth. Would heaven be? She is also beyond my grasp. Both heaven and my lady love are beyond my grasp. And yet she has not spoke so long. He says that yet, till now, she has not spoken a word. She's quiet. Okay? What if heaven be that fair and strong? Yes. What if heaven be that fair and strong, and life's best, with our eyes upturned, whither life's flower is first discerned, we fixed so, ever should so abide. And he says that if only this moment would last forever, he says. Okay. What if heaven To be in heaven meant to be in this moment. ओके, ये जो पल जो बीत रहे हैं, ये पल, काश कि ये पल ऐसे ही हो जैसे स्वर्ग में बिताए जाने वाले पल. Okay, what if heaven itself, she has not spoken so long, what if heaven be that fair and strong at life's best? Means, if only it was possible that heaven could also be so, would also bring so much happiness, enjoyment, ecstasy, just as this moment which I am enjoying, like this moment which I'm enjoying with my beloved, in which I am riding with my lady love. And what is the imagery? Fair and strong at life's best. These are the best moments of my life. With our eyes upturned, both our eyes are upturned. We are looking upwards. Okay. Whither life's flower is first discerned. And it is like feeling as if we are on the, you can say, uh, it is like being in heaven, being on top of the world. Okay, blossoming like a flower, just it's so beautiful, this moment, like the beauty of a flower which is blossoming. We fixed so ever should so abide. And he says that this moment, this image, this moment in which we are riding together, she's leaning on me and we are looking upwards, and uh, we are on top of the world. And will this moment last forever? What if we still ride on, we too, with life forever old yet new? What if we kept on riding together like this forever? Okay, always doing the same thing, always feeling a sort of, always being in ecstasy, always enjoying this ride, always finding it fresh and rejuvenating forever and forever. Changed not in kind but in degrees. In degree. Changed not in kind but in degree. The instant made eternity. Yes. Yes. What if we still ride on, we too, with life forever old yet new? What would happen if we continue to, what a moment it would be, how enjoyable it would be if we continue to ride together. Changed not in kind but in degree, the instant made eternity. This moment, this instant would become, this moment would become eternal, enjoyable for eternity. It would give him happiness for ever. And heaven just proved that I and she ride together forever, ride. And he said that what, how enjoyable it would be if we continue to ride eternally. Okay, into eternity, into infinity, forever. This, just as this material we are traversing, we are riding in this material world. How enjoyable, how ecstatic it would be if we continued this ride into eternity even after death. And it would be really heaven. It would be joy. It would be a thing of joy. It would be ecstatic to for us to ride together forever, eternally. What means he is wishing, he is, he has a desire that this last ride should, in this materialistic world, sure, if only it could continue forever till eternity, even beyond this life, after death, if only he had the he had been granted the fortune to ride together with his lady love forever. Life would have been very enjoyable, this life as well as life after death. So here we find that after uh, reading the whole poem, did you like the poem? Did you enjoy the poem? Okay. And of course, you can say that although it seems in the beginning, the speaker, the narrator, has expressed something very unfortunate, that his lady love has refused his love. But then there is, there is, you can say, uh, s- streak of silver lining amidst the dark clouds. He is trying to find a moment of happiness in in these unfortunate circumstances. And you know the poem has ended on a positive note. And then, uh, the poet speaks of life in this world and the life beyond death, beyond this world after death. And beside her, he beside with his lady love, he feels, like a god himself. Okay. So this is actually, here he is speaking of divine love. Okay. And something, that appeals to his spirit. Okay. He's talking of uh, this worldly love, and then he's talking of the spiritual aspect also of love. And of course, there is uh, a, he has thrown light on hope and expectations, um, versus reality, imagination versus reality, isn't it? Life in this world and life beyond this world. And there is also a comparison between art. Okay. Art and the spiritual experience of the narrator, the speaker. Or then there is, repetition of words to bring emphasis, to bring emphasis, uh, regarding in certain cases, at at certain moments he want to emphasize his idea. So for that purpose, he repeats words. Since has been repeated so many times. Okay, there is repetition of words. And when you go through the text of the poem, you will find that uh, the length of lines is changing according to the idea or emotion that is being conveyed here. Then, of course, there is alliteration. Alliteration has been used. All, belowy, bosomed, over, bowed. This is alliteration. Alliteration has been used. Then, and you see, the sentence overflows from one line to the other. For example, in line number 34 and 35, you see, then we began to write, my soul smoothed itself out. See, the sense, my soul, then this sentence is incomplete here in line number 34. It is, getting completed in line number 35. My sense smoothed itself out. Here it is complete, getting completed. A long, cramped scroll, freshening and fluttering in the wind. Again, metaphorical language. There is, the soul has been compared directly to a long, cramped scroll, isn't it? So these are certain figures of speech that have been used here. Uh, so I think this much is enough for today. Have you understood the poem? Okay. So we will stop here today. Tomorrow we will take the other topic in your syllabus. Have a nice day. How long?